Why the hell are some white Americans so shocked by the cruelty of this administration? What you are seeing now isn't new. America didn't lose its soul all of a sudden. It never had one. If you know your history, you know that this nation was born in blood, built on stolen land, powered by stolen labor, and held together by state-sanctioned violence. I'm Shanda, and welcome to In the Deep End.
America, I never knew. I never knew you were so racist. I never knew you could be so wicked. I just never knew how cruel you were. I never knew. I just never knew.
To those of you clutching your pearls in horror about what's happening or saying, oh my God, what has happened to America? Like hundreds of these comments expressed. You have obviously had the luxury of not paying attention. What we are seeing with this administration isn't new, and it isn't a betrayal of American values. What we are seeing today is America's values, unfiltered, uninterrupted, and finally, undeniable. What shocks you is what Black America has always known. What outrages you now is the nightmare Black Americans have not been able to wake up from. The only difference now is America has a defiant and brazen president that doesn't mind letting the true agenda of Americans shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond, where it typically hides behind polite language, half smiles, political spin, and sanitized headlines. It is now loud, proud, and in your face. So my question is, why now, white America? What is it about this moment that finally shook you from your long slumber? We all know that a good majority of you dismissed Americans, Black Americans, as exaggerators and complainers. Ignored our pain with nonchalant, shoulder shrugs, labeled us as professional victims. You've rolled your eyes and smirked and muttered, there they go again, always playing the race card. You fired off smug, rhetorical questions like, why can't they just get over it? Slavery ended centuries ago. We've even elected a Black president, for God's sake. You actually convinced yourselves that electing one Black president magically erased centuries of racism. Like that single moment canceled out 246 years of slavery, 89 years of segregation and Jim Crow, redlining, police brutality, and systemic inequality. As if one half Black man in office was some kind of racial reset button. This belief allows you to not only keep the blinders on, but reinforce their effectiveness, shutting out any reality and pushing us backward as a society. So why is the cruelty now so plain to see when it's been there all along? Racism and cruelty isn't a glitch in the system. It is the system. I have heard some people say, this is not America. America doesn't act like this. It's Donald Trump who's doing it. No. No. It isn't just Trump. He's just the face of it. Why do you think nobody's opposing what's happening? Well, in order to oppose something, you must first disagree. No opposition, no disagreement. It's not just Trump. Racism and cruelty are woven into the laws, the institutions, and the very DNA of this country. For generations, the narrative was carefully controlled by those in power, who choose denial, dismissal, or just plain outright silence. Law enforcement, schools, and media, along with politicians, all worked together to bury the ugly truth under fantasies of progress and equality. Now, of course, with social media and viral videos, the raw reality is broadcasted instantly and globally for all to see. You can't deny it when the whole world is watching in high definition. Minorities in this country have been systematically abused and persecuted, not for what we've done, but simply for existing in skin that isn't white. So the question remains, why now? Is it because now the horror isn't hidden? It's live streamed in 4K, shared millions of times in seconds, and just impossible to ignore? Why now are some of you just realizing that this country isn't fair, progressive, or righteous? Why now are you just realizing the sweet land of liberty isn't sweet at all? Why now are you just realizing everything you learned in school has been watered down and repackaged for palatable consumption? Why now are you just realizing that the people who loudly and proudly sing lyrics like "Home of the Brave" are not so brave after all? They are terrified of truth, diversity, and accountability. Why now are you just realizing all men are created equal only applies if you're white, straight, and male? Why now are you just realizing that United We Stand only applies if you conform and don't challenge the status quo? Why now are you just realizing liberty and justice for all was never meant for all, but only a chosen few? Why now are you just realizing that pulling yourself up by the bootstraps is impossible if you are denied boots or straps? Why now are you just realizing that the founding fathers of America, who wrote of liberty and freedom while human beings were held in bondage in their own homes and on their own land? Why now? Why now? Why the so-called Great Awakening, when just a year ago, most of you were doing what you always do: deny, defend, and distance. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.